Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. Welcome to Paul's Money Market Update number 207 for Monday, 8th of December 2025. And then finally, okay, final one for today, before we look at the live charts, BA, all right, British Aerospace Systems. Those of you who joined many, or have joined for a long time, will know that I have a particular interest, okay, in aerospace and defence companies. And we've talked about over the sort of weeks and years, how certainly since the sort of the beginning of conflict in Ukraine, how that has been effectively immensely good for defence companies, both European and US. But we talked a couple of weeks ago about here we can see that we'd passed like £2,000, all right, in terms of the sort of the chart price there, and we talked about a bit of a nice evening star there, false breakout I'd call that, and we talked about how the continuing conversations between sort of Trump and Putin and to a lesser part Zelensky about possible peace plan for Ukraine was likely to take the kind of wind out of the sails of defense companies. And that is what we've seen, and we've seen that both in sort of, European and US defense companies. And I'm kind of interested now because actually, over the last week or two, you can see is that, we've closed beneath this 50 period moving average. All right. Last week we had a little bit of a momentum reversal kind of, but we still couldn't get above the 50 there. So the thing I'm interested in is, of course, is what we see. I think it's in London today. Zelensky is now meeting with Starmer, Merz, and Macron. I couldn't think of a worse way to spend my afternoon than be in a room with those three miserable sods. But anyway, the less said about Paul's middle-aged man rants, the better. But my own view, as I've said before, is that quite a few politically, Merz, Macron, and Starmer are all doing pretty poorly domestically, and a little bit of fighting and conflict on the eastern edges of the sort of European land continent. Okay, might be a nice little distraction from as I said, from domestic issues at home. So. As I've said before, my fear, and I'm very happy and I'm very willingly to be proven wrong on this, is that I worry that those three are going to do a bit of a President Galtieri, as in Argentina '82, in a way and a means to basically sort of distract people. But we will see what kind of the rhetoric comes out of that meeting today, and of course, most importantly, what, if any, impact that has on the on European defence company, in particular British Aerospace. So I could see that there's an incident or an event, and basically it pumps price up to that kind of 1800 area there, and that to me would then be a decision point. Okay, does it basically reject? In which case, I think we're down to 1500 there. Okay, that's what I'll be looking. Or is there just generally a kind of a continuous sort of pump towards war? In which case, then I'll be expecting us to head back to those big round numbers of 2000. So yeah, let's see how that kind of plays out over the next couple of weeks. All right, so that's the charts of interest for this week. Let's switch across to the live markets and see what's going on. So if you'll just bear with me for a moment, we'll switch across and see what the score is.